If you are an entrepreneur, a local expert, or really anyone who has ever felt that soul-crushing dread as a mandatory 7:15 a.m. meeting, we are diving into your personal survival manual today. I really want you to step into this scene that Edwin Duterte, the CRE and video marketing strategist, describes so vividly.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday morning. You've somehow gotten into a suit that feels, a little tighter than last week.
Yep.
And the air is just thick with the smell of bad coffee and maybe a stale, suspiciously glossy pastry.
Right.
And you are forcing a smile, a professional positive smile,
Yeah.
so hard that your face is literally starting to cramp.
That whole visceral experience, that sense of routine that is just exhausting but also feels like mandatory, that's what Duterte in his South Bay Amplifier Blueprint calls the defining torture of the invisible entrepreneur.
It's that feeling of necessary futility.
Exactly.
And we all know it. We've either been to the BNI, the LeTip, or some other traditional networking thing where you have to just sit there and listen to the same 12 people give the exact same 60-second pitch.
Not for the first time, not for the 10th time.
But maybe for the 40th time.
It's the ritual, the repetition that just gets you. The blueprint really focuses on this grind marketing, and he calls it the rubber chicken circuit.
Which is such a perfect name. It captures both the physical discomfort, that lukewarm coffee, the forced small talk, and just the lack of substance.
It's all just low-yield activity.
Yeah.
Repetitive.
And it's not just the early mornings. It's the Chamber of Commerce mixer, right?
Oh, yeah.
The end of the workday. You're standing around trying to look engaged while you're eyeing that tray of cold shrimp.
And having the same identical conversation you had last week with the same 3 people, all in the name of building your network.
The blueprint is pretty brutal about this because it just states what everyone knows but won't admit.
That this whole exhausting ritual, it just doesn't pay.
Right. You might genuinely be working 60 hours a week. You might be a pillar of your local community, but the amount of real high-value business that comes from this is just tiny compared to the time you put in.
And nothing symbolizes that wasted effort more than the business card. Duterte specifically calls them out.
He calls them the ultimate tragedy.
He describes them as paper tombstones, and I love that visual.
It's perfect.
They're just objects that are, destined to die in a desk drawer. They're a monument to the hours you spent on physical visibility.
But here's the core failure.
This is it. That relentless physical effort, it's just completely disconnected from modern relevance. The entrepreneur remains a digital ghost.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because that disconnect, that feeling that you're working constantly but not showing up where it actually counts, that's the central problem.
Like the old playbook, it feels professional, it feels like work.
But it's hopelessly broken.
Hopelessly, because the client's habitat has completely changed.
We need to shift our focus from that miserable Tuesday morning to, say, the Friday night reality of your high-value client.
Your ideal client is not at that 7 a.m. meeting. They've moved on.
They are probably sitting at their desk at 10 p.m., after a long day when the family's asleep, and they're looking for answers to some pretty high-stakes questions.
And they are not digging through a pile of business cards.
No, they're not going to the phone book. They're going straight to the new gatekeepers, the ones who control authority and relevance now.
We're talking about the AI engines.
Grok, Gemini, and ChatGPT.
And they're asking these pointed, high-value questions that decide who gets the business. Things like, who is the most trusted attorney in the South Bay?
Or, find me a verifiable expert CPA in Torrance who specializes in tax law.
Or even, show me the real authority on commercial real estate in San Pedro, and then they'll add, not just a paid ad.
And that, according to the blueprint, is the moment of devastating silence for our overworked entrepreneur.
Despite their 60 hours of networking, their local reputation, all those lukewarm coffees, the AI comes back with nothing.
You're a digital ghost because there's just no credible, verifiable evidence of your expertise online that the algorithms can find.
What's fascinating here is the predicament of the algorithms themselves. The blueprint identifies this as the trust crisis.
Good one.
I mean, the internet is just drowning in generic content, right? A lot of it now is AI generated itself. So the algorithms are, and this is a quote, terrified of recommending generic AI-generated slop.
That's a great point. It's not just that they can't find you. They're actively programmed to be suspicious of anything that lacks clear human verification.
Exactly. The AI is looking for a digital signature of authenticity. It needs proof of human.
Okay, so think of it like AI is the bouncer at the most exclusive digital club.
That's a great analogy.
And if you don't have a verifiable ID digital proof that you're a real established expert, you're staying outside. Doesn't matter how many business cards you handed out in the parking lot.
They are desperate for the signal in all that noise.
And that signal has basically been formalized into the new Bible for digital authority, which is EEAT.
Right. This is Google's critical ranking algorithm, and if you want those AI gatekeepers to recommend you, you just have to nail this framework.
If you aren't familiar with this is probably the most important part of our whole deep dive.
This is the foundation of modern digital visibility. The traditional method failed because it never addressed these 4 pillars. Let's break them down.
Let's start with the 2 pillars that the expert already has, which the blueprint says is the content you bring to the table: experience and expertise.
Okay, so experience is your first-hand, on-the-ground human knowledge. It's the scar tissue you earn by actually doing the work.
Right.
And expertise means you are a proven master of your specific craft. This is the irreplaceable human IP that the AI needs to see is real.
But here's the challenge. How do you prove that experience and expertise digitally when the AI can't, read your meeting calendar or look at the files in your office?
That's where the next 2 pillars come in. These are the elements that have to be digitally manufactured.
You A and the T.
That's the key distinction. We move into authoritativeness and trustworthiness.
So authoritativeness means you're recognized as a leading, verifiable authority. It's about credibility that can be indexed.
And finally, trustworthiness. This means you're real, transparent, and credible in how you present yourself, if the other 3 are the content of your message.
Trustworthiness is the clarity of the medium.
Exactly. And this is where the traditional grind just fails so completely. You might have 20 years of experience and unrivaled expertise, but cold calls, stale coffee, and physical networking build 0 digital EAT score.
Wait, challenge me on this. Surely a personal referral from a networking event has to count for something, right?
It absolutely counts for a personal sale, but it does nothing for your digital authority.
How so?
Think about it. If a client gets a personal referral on Monday, what do they do on Monday night?
They go online to check you out.
They go online to verify it. And if the AI engines can't validate that referral with a high EAT score, the deal suddenly has friction. There's distrust. The client is now wondering, why is this so-called expert a digital ghost?
That makes perfect sense. The physical referral might open the door, but the lack of digital authority just slams it shut again.
Or at least makes it much harder to close.
Okay, so a lot of entrepreneurs realize this. They see the grind is failing, so they turn to digital video. But the failure rate there is incredibly high.
Ah, yes, the infamous hostage video.
We've all seen it.
You realize the grind isn't working, so you grab your phone, you prop it up on a stack of books, and you record in a room that sounds like an echo chamber.
It's instantly recognizable. Grainy, bad lighting, the echo. And the blueprint calls this out as a huge mistake. Why does that fail the EAT test so badly?
Because it completely destroys the last 2 pillars, authoritativeness and trustworthiness.
Oh.
Duterte writes that a grainy, echoey hostage video just screams amateur, not authority. It looks unstable, it sounds unprofessional, and the human brain, and therefore the AI that's programmed to mimic human judgment, rejects it instantly.
It's the digital equivalent of showing up to that 7:400 a.m. BNI meeting in your pajamas.
Yeah.
You might have the best legal mind in the city, but you've destroyed your authoritativeness and trustworthiness in one shot by signaling you just don't care.
You're signaling low standards, and the human ear is wired to reject bad audio instantly. That little crackle or echo, it signals low production value, which translates in the viewer's mind to low trustworthiness and, crucially, low standards for your professional service.
So the Voxel Micro Video Lab's solution from this material is designed specifically to be an EEAT engine. It bypasses this amateur trap.
Right. It's not just about making a video. It's about manufacturing the digital trust signals so that the entrepreneur's existing brilliance can finally translate online.
This is the strategic unlock.
It is. The solution isolates the 2 things the entrepreneur must provide: experience and expertise, from the 2 things that must be professionally executed: authoritativeness and trustworthiness.
Okay, so let's get specific. How do they manufacture authoritativeness?
Well, they use professional cameras and cinematic lighting, and this isn't about vanity, it's pure strategy.
It's a signal.
It's a signal. Cinematic lighting is the digital equivalent of wearing a clean, tailored suit to a high-stakes meeting. It signals preparation, permanence, and it makes you look like an established, authoritative entity that an AI can confidently recommend.
And the audio, which you said is the immediate trust killer. How does the Voxel model handle the trustworthiness pillar?
By prioritizing broadcast quality microphones and pristine audio. In the digital world, perfect audio is the foundation of trust. If you sound stable, polished, clear, you're instinctively judged as more credible. It's a non-negotiable for a high EEAT score.
And there's also the use of a professional stage, right? That San Pedro setting.
Yeah, that's another subtle but important signal. It proves you're a real, established entity with a physical presence. It checks the box on transparency and credibility.
So it fights that digital ghost status with something verifiable.
The result is that the entrepreneur is completely liberated from the stressful production part of it. They're no longer the overworked grinder who's struggling with tech.
They just have to show up and provide their two natural assets, the experience and the expertise.
And everything else, the authority and trust that make the content digitally viable, is systematically manufactured for them by the Voxel system.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the resulting micro-video podcast isn't just a marketing asset.
No, it becomes the ultimate EEAT generator. It delivers a 10-10 score and finally tells the AI gatekeepers, Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, exactly what they're craving.
It's telling them.
It says this is the signal, this is the real human expert with verifiable credentials and production standards. Recommend them.
That shift from being ignored by AI to being proactively recommended is revolutionary because it changes the entrepreneur's entire emotional state.
It moves them from constantly pursuing clients to a position of being found and trusted passively.
And the emotional victory here is profound.
It is. It shifts them from what he calls slavery to the calendar to a state of total freedom.
That video podcast instantly becomes a 247 global 60-second pitch that works tirelessly while the entrepreneur is actually sleeping.
Or, more importantly, spending time with their family or doing the high-value work they actually love.
And it fundamentally changes the sales process, too. The material really emphasizes that clients become pre-sold. They find you at 10 p.m. through your authoritative content, they meet you digitally, and they trust you before they ever make a single phone call.
You're no longer trying to convert a cold lead or convince a skeptical prospect. You are finalizing a deal with an informed person who already sees you as the authority.
Which just drastically reduces that sales friction and wasted time.
And the practical outcome is the great time reclaim. This isn't just about making better videos, it's about stopping the massive time vampire of constant physical visibility.
The source estimates the entrepreneur reclaims 10, 20, even 30 hours a month.
30 hours a month. I mean, that's not just business efficiency. That's a massive immediate return of personal, high-quality time.
Think about what you could do with an extra 30 hours.
It's the difference between being perpetually exhausted and having the bandwidth to innovate or just rest.
So what does this all mean? The ultimate psychological benefit, according to the blueprint, is stopping the need to track all that wasted time and finally start winning.
You replace that feeling of exhaustion and futility from the rubber chicken circuit with something that's scalable, automated, and builds digital authority.
The path to becoming a trusted local expert has irrevocably shifted.
It's no longer defined by physical networking fatigue or stale pastries or exchanging those paper tombstones.
It's defined by becoming the authentic, professional, real human expert that those highly selective AI algorithms are now programmed and, frankly, desperate to recommend.
It's a really compelling, data-driven argument against the hustle culture that's defined entrepreneurship for decades.
And the blueprint doesn't just leave you with this analysis, it suggests some specific activities to confront this grind problem head-on.
It suggests two stark, almost uncomfortable steps for you, the listener.
Okay, what are they?
First, he says to organize a marketing confessions event, whether it's with your team or anonymously with peers. The goal is to put the pain on the table.
So you share the worst, most time-consuming grind activities that generate zero revenue.
You force yourself to look at the futility.
And the second step, which I think is truly painful, is a ruthless week of tracking.
For 7 days, track the actual hours you spend on grind marketing, those forced physical activities, versus the actual verifiable revenue it generates.
Be honest about that ratio.
If that number makes you sick, you have the evidence you need. It validates the whole thesis of the blueprint.
And the final advice from Duterte is powerful. It's to stop tracking wasted time.
That time is already lost. It's gone.
It's gone to the calendar, to the time vampire. The new goal is to reclaim it. Why spend another week trapped in that painful grind?
When a new system is available that focuses on scalable, EEAT-compliant digital authority.
It's time to stop being the digital ghost that AI ignores and start being the authority that the entire digital ecosystem, the client, the search engine, the algorithm, is actively looking for.